I'm Aaron from Underoath.
And I'm Spencer, and you're watching Soundlink TV.
Ow!
Take me to the darkness, hang me out to dry, tingled in your legs, in the webs of your eyes, lead me to the...
Trenton here with Soundlink TV, this time with Spencer and Aaron from Underoath. How you guys doing today?
Good, man.
All right. You guys have been on the No Fix tour for a little bit, and today you're at Carolina Rebellion and stuff. So one thing I like to talk about with some bands is the process of developing a set for a headlining tour and a festival and everything. So how do you guys handle that and personally adjust your sets for the festival and for the tour?
I mean, a lot of it comes down to time, right? I mean,
Yeah.
On a festival, obviously you can't do whatever you want. You have a allotted time schedule. So I think then it's a game of like, what do we feel like is going to go over the best, for a short amount of time. So.
Okay.
We're still adding like new stuff since we have a new record, and
Yeah.
a lot of these festivals we've never played before. We've never even been a thought process, I think, for a lot of these festivals. So we also want to lead with like our best foot forward, which would, in our opinions, our newest stuff. So
Yeah.
it's a balance of putting new stuff in the set for people that have never heard us, because a lot of these festivals they haven't, and then throwing in some fan favorites for our fans that actually do purchase
Yeah.
tickets to come hang out with us at these things.
Yeah, so like, how do you guys embrace the unknowns of festivals like these? Like you guys came up sort of like through the Warped Tour scene, and now you're like doing these whole like with the big radio bands and stuff like that. So like, how have you embraced that challenge of reaching these new people?
I think playing in front of new people is really important. I think if you're always playing to your crowd, sold out, massive, everyone's singing, that's great. But at a festival, it's kind of nice to see a bunch of people that don't know who you are. To me, it's like, oh, we're doing something. So being a bit
change what we do either way. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna make it the best we know how to, and as passionate and real as we know how to. So, I think that if people enjoy that here, that's even better. It's a bonus, So.
All right, now
you feed off the energy of a crowd.
Yeah.
But when you play for people that don't know who you are, it's like almost like a reverse effect. Like you feed off the fact that everyone's just standing there, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking rip this place down. So it's a little bit of both. And it's exciting for us. Being a band for as long as we have to play for new people is always exciting.
Yeah. Now, something I haven't really heard you guys talk about since you guys have come back. I'm surprised no one's ever asked you guys this, but going back to 2006, that Warped Tour, you guys almost broke up and stuff. Do you think had that happened back then, that you guys would be where you are today, this strong and this focused and this driven as you are now, or would you guys just not have seen this happening?
I don't know. I think that everything, as cheesy as it sounds, I think that everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? And I think that you go through shit in your life to get through it, or it squashes you or you get through it, right? Mm-hmm. So I think for us, like, every single nuanced moment like that and every single large moment like that, we were able to kind of come out on top in the best way. So that's what I think. But you may get 6 different answers from a band, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a take on that?
Yeah, same thing that he said.
Okay.
I think that if we wouldn't have broken up, I don't think that we would be able to make the music that we made now and be able to get along like we did. Like the 06 thing was like a speed bump, but when we actually did break up in 2013 for a couple of years, I don't think any of this would be possible without that. I think we had just put ourselves, we kept closing the walls in smaller and smaller on ourselves to where we couldn't move, so eventually we had to tear all that down.
Okay.
And I think breaking up, it wasn't part of the plan to ever get back together, but it literally saved this band's life, I guess, is saying that it was over and letting that sit in and fixing what needed to be fixed just to be friends again. And I think us being friends, naturally we're going to play music together. That's what we do. That's, like, you put me and Aaron in a room together, we're not going to not play music. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I think like you said, everything happens for a reason. And I think our journey has been somewhat embarrassing, and having everyone watch Growing Pains, and like you're like a reality TV show at that point.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's on drugs, this guy's in the hospital, this guy hates that guy. It's like, it sucks, but I guess it's part of the job, and part of being in a band that you are constantly in the public eye, and people definitely watch us go through some bullshit.
Okay. Now, something I want to talk about, you raced me with, I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about as well, is the co-writing that took place. You guys have talked about before how you guys got hooked up with Matt and everything, but Johnny Andrews helped out with some of the stuff too, and I haven't heard much about that co-writing process. And so what was that thought process like, getting him involved and co-writing with somebody else outside of the band?
It's just like sitting down with one of the guys in the band, writing a song, sitting down with someone that's, a lot of people do it with their producer, like, which we didn't really do. We had, it's just like being in a band with someone for a couple days. Johnny's a friend of mine, and we sat down and worked on 2 songs together, just as if me and Aaron would sit down and work on 2 songs together.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's just if you got, it's not.
Yeah,
no one.
People are immediately like, oh, you're in sync. You know what I mean? Like, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's not. There's a difference between people writing, and like a lot of bands get stuff written for them, or they don't show up with any material. We had 30 songs.
Yeah.
We had so many songs, and 2 of the songs were songs that I wrote with Johnny, just as an experiment. And when I showed up, we were, like homies from the get-go, and I went over there and worked with him twice. I ended up doing like 8 songs with him. We only used like 2.
Yeah.
I just sat with the dude, and he sat on the piano, I sat on the guitar, and then we just like I would with Aaron, or we would do with Tim, or anyone in our band. It's the same thing. It's like some people have shit written for them. We're too strong-minded people to do that. It was just actually making a song. It was like being in a band with someone for, a week or 2. So it was cool. It's just like writing with anyone else in the band.
Okay. Now, you guys have always been sort of a visual band. Even on this tour, you guys have this big LED light wall or whatever with the screen going, and just music videos have always been very creative and stuff. And so, like, with this artwork and stuff, how does this whole time with the record, what does the artwork symbolize, if anything at all, for this new record?
The artwork is actually deeper than you think. Some friends of ours have a creative agency called Tension Division, and they did all the artwork, and we've known them for 15 years. So the artwork is too deep for this conversation, but it's like there's 3 sides of the coin there. Like, one thing means one thing, and the color means another thing. And
oh, wow. Okay.
So you can go read about it online, but there's a rabbit hole there. So for us, we like music. Like, we're not just in a band to make a living or in a band to be in a band. Like, we're all huge music fans.
Music nerds.
Music nerds. So for us, like, we like the rabbit hole. We like track listings, and we like artwork, and we like the artwork meaning something and leading to another rabbit hole. So for us, like, everything has always been about that visual aspect. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, Led Zeppelin without the cymbals wouldn't be the same. You know what I mean? So for us, it's like we chase that thing. So that's why for years it's always been that way.
Okay. And one more thing with that record is that guy over there, Chris, has stepped up his game a lot on this record too and stuff. So, like, going from him doing layers and stuff in the recent records to him like full blown having full on like lead parts and stuff on this new one. What was that like, getting him involved with that for you guys as well, doing what you guys have done for years together as well?
He did it himself. I mean, I think that something that Underoath has been pretty good about our 99% of our careers, we've been able to kind of reinvent ourselves every record. And I think that's what keeps things fresh, but that's also what makes things exciting for fans, is when you put out the same record time and time again.
Yeah.
Eventually, like, the wheel's gonna, I don't want to hear it, and the wheel's gonna run out, right? So we've had him for the whole time. So why not do something else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and he really stepped up on his own. Like,
Well, and we're approaching things as like a songwriting, because we've all we haven't made a record in 8 years and 10 years with Aaron. So, like, I think we're all kind of going back to the stuff that we love and why we fell in music in the first place, which is songwriting and songs and structure and melody. And there was a time in our life when we were rebelled against that, and we've kind of come back to that. And I feel like a lot of times in a situation of being an aggressive rock band, we go back to elements of things that we love, and some harder rock stuff like 9 Inch Nails, and even like Radiohead elements and things that, like, we see from the electronic side, that we can still keep things dark and heavy without having to be screaming all the time, because it's like we've done that for 15 years. Like, we wanted to do something else, and the obvious choice is like, well, you can just and like bass guitar. It's like, but we have this other element, and we all can play keys. Like, we all, and on stage now there's 5 keyboards. Chris has 2. He has 3 something massive setup. Tim has a keyboard. I have a keyboard, and our bass player has a bass. So it's like we all can play it, and Chris has just had so much more input, and he stepped up a lot, like you said. And I just think it was an obvious thing for us to do, is to add a lot more electronic elements if we were going to not make the same record over and over again, and like be able to do more with it vocally too. It allows us to not just, that's been done a million times. So we kind of just, it's obvious.
I got one more for you, and we'll wrap it up here. Carolina Rebellion today, Stone Temple Pilots is playing, Alice in Chains is playing. You guys are playing the same day, so level of 1 to 10, how stoked are you guys to be playing with those bands on the same day?
Well, we watched Stone Temple Pilots 2 nights ago,
We had a night
Yeah.
off in Knoxville, and we watched Stone Temple Pilots at the same venue we played last night.
Yeah,
and the new singer is phenomenal.
yeah.
It was pretty breathtakingly good. I was like, wow,
Yeah, it sounded incredible.
it sounded really good. Stone Temple, Alice in Chains, though, I love Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
We played with them before. We did Soundwave. What year was that?
It's like 08 or 09.
And I want to think it was one of their first tours back since Will, after Lane's passing,
Yeah,
everything.
Jerry still had long hair.
Jerry still had long hair. Where's your hair at, Jerry? No, but we watched them. It was them and Nine Inch Nails, and we would get off stage, change clothes, and walk around front and watch Alice in Chains, and then we turn, and then we would watch Nine Inch Nails
Oh,
every
wow.
single night on that tour.
Doing the same thing tonight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll be in the crowd for Alice in Chains
It's
tonight,
always
for
awesome
sure.
to have people come to see you guys, but then you guys are just a fan of these bands as well, and you're watching
Oh, my
them
God.
just like a normal fan would.
that's
Al-
what we were saying before. We're
Yeah.
we're music nerds. The two
Yeah.
of us, the most. But
Yeah.
like those two bands were super important to me in high school. Like
Yeah.
that was the shit that turned me on to this stuff in a
Okay.
lot of ways.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys for your time today. Looking forward to seeing you guys later today. Erase Me's out now. They're on the No Fix tour. Go check it out. I'm Trenton with Soundlink TV, hanging out with Underoath.
Take me to the darkness.